students, welcome back to my channel. Today's episode is the final part of discussion on the sum and the product of words. We'll explore some applications through a few examples. Let's dive in. Let's take a look at the title. Today we'll learn how to form a quadratic equations with given words. We covered these topics a few episodes ago, but this time the problems will be a bit more complex as they will involve the sum and the product of words. We have discussed the first two parts actually. Perhaps we take a minute to review them. There are two ways to form a quadratic equations with given words. The first one is to use the product of factors. We start from these two words. We set them equal to 0 and then multiply the two factors, simplify it, and then we have the answer. Okay. The second method, we are going to use a formula. The formula is x squared minus sum of words times x plus product of words. Instead of go through all the steps, we find the sum of words. Okay, in this example, the sum of words is level 4 plus 3 is level 1, and then the product of words is level 12. After we substitute level 1 and level 12 into this formula, and then simplify, we have the same answer. Both methods are quite straightforward, but we prefer the second one because in some situations like the two given words involve some search. For example, 2 plus 3 with 5 and 2 minus 3 with 5. In this particular examples, if you use the first method, I think you need to write many more steps than the examples and much easier to make mistakes. So I think most of you can stick to this formula to solve this kind of problems. Today I prepared 4 examples to do. All of them involve the sum and the product of words. Okay, let's see question 1. If alpha and beta are the roots of the equations, okay, there is an equation. I refer this equation 1, as there are two equations in this example, so that's why I need to refer them equation 1 and equation 2. Okay, please look at alpha and beta are roots of equation 1. Okay, the task of this problem is to find another quadratic equation 2 with roots level 2 alpha and level 2 beta. Okay, the information given to you is that the roots of equation 2 are level 2 alpha and level 2 beta. Okay, this part is the draft. I use it to outline my plan to solve these problems. Okay, we start with the given equations. Okay, the first steps, we need to write down to find the value of alpha plus beta and alpha times beta. We use the formula, okay, level b over a and c over a to find the sum of words and the product of words. Okay, and then the second step, we need to find out the sum of words and the product of words of the second equations. That is level 2 alpha plus level 2 beta. Okay, the sum of words of the second equations, and of course we need to find the product of words once again of the second equation. Okay, we have the value from the left hand side, so theoretically we should have some numerical value of these two guys and have the value of both of them. We can substitute into the following formula: y squared minus sum of words y plus product of words 0 to 0. Okay, so we are going to do 3 steps. Okay, the first step, find the sum and the product of words of the first equations. alpha plus beta is equal to 4 and alpha beta is equal to 2. Okay, the first part. And the second part, we found the sum of root of the second equation, negative 2 alpha minus 2 beta. Okay, take negative 2 outside. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Okay, and then to find the product of roots of equation 2. Okay, so 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, the required equation is y squared minus minus negative 8, so plus 8y plus 8 is equal to 0. Problem is solved. You may check answer in the textbook. I think you may probably get this answer: h squared plus hs plus h is equal to 0. Actually, they are the same. Okay, I just need to change the name of the unknown, so I have the same answer. Okay, but I prefer to use another unknown in these steps because there are no confusions of x and y here. Okay, I can use either x or y in these steps. It doesn't matter, the answer are the same. If you understand question 1, question 2 will be exactly the same. Okay, we are given an equation 1, alpha and beta are the roots of equation 1. The task is to form a quadratic equation in x, and another equation 2. The roots, these two roots are roots of equation 2. Okay, we follow the 3 steps in the previous questions. First steps, find the alpha plus beta and alpha times beta. Alpha plus beta is negative b over a, 3 over 2, c over a, 1 over 2. Okay, the second step, we need to find alpha over beta. Alpha beta times beta alpha. Okay, these two are the sum and the product of roots of the second equation. Okay, to add the two fractions, we multiply the denominator. Okay, on top will be alpha squared plus beta squared. In the numerator, I think I have introduced an equation for you to remember. Okay, so we can use this formula. Become alpha plus 2 squared minus 2 alpha beta and alpha beta. Okay, now we can substitute these two values into these steps. I don't want to be a fraction over fractions, so perhaps I use decimal. Okay, so the first one, 1.5 squared minus 2 times 0.5 over 0.5. Okay, that is 2.5. Okay, I made back to a fractions, 5 over 2. So the sum of roots is 5 over 2. The product of roots, we just cancel all the alpha and beta, will be equal to 1. The required equations, okay, is equal to y squared minus 5 over 2y plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, we do two more things. The first steps, we multiply 2 to the whole equation, and the last step, we change back to s. So this step is the final answer. B is quite similar to question 1 and question 2. The structure is the same. We are given an equation 1, have roots alpha and betas, and we are going to find another equation, equation 2. They have root alpha cube and beta cube. Okay, but one additional step is set for us. Is the first step we are going to find alpha square plus beta square. I think this step helps you to find the sum of root and the product of roots of equation 3. Okay, this part may be complicated. Okay, so the part A may help you to find the value of alpha cube plus beta cube. Okay, anyway, we start from alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Alpha plus beta should be equal to 1 over 4, and alpha beta should be negative 1 over 2. Okay, in part A, we are required to find alpha square plus beta square is equal to alpha plus beta square minus 2 alpha beta. So you see that it is very often to find the value of alpha square plus beta square. So my advice to you is that you remember this equation. Okay, so it is equal to 1 over 4 square minus 2 times negative 1 over 2. First one is 1 over 16, the second one is 1, so 17 over 16. Okay, part A is finished. Okay, part B. Okay, we are going to find alpha cube plus beta cube, and later alpha cube times beta cube. Factorization of alpha cube plus beta cube, I hope you remember. Otherwise, you can check the last episode. Okay, it is equal to alpha plus beta, alpha square minus alpha beta but plus beta square. To rewrite these steps, we can substitute all the value into these two brackets. Okay, the first one is 1 over 4. The second bracket, these two combined will be equal to 17 over 16. Okay, minus alpha beta is negative 1 over 2, so plus 1 over 2. Okay, so we have 25 over 64. Okay, alpha cube times beta cube is equal to alpha beta to the power 3. Okay, so negative 1 over 2 to the power 3, that is negative 1 over 8. And the product of roots of equation 2 are ready. So the quadratic, the required equations is equal to y squared minus 25 over 64 minus 1 over 8 is 0. Okay, multiply 64 y squared minus 25y minus 8 is 0. Okay, at last we change back to s. Okay, finish.